Today we'll be installing my intercooler and turbo kit from the orange Civic onto the red Civic. Let's get started with this process. Welcome to Texas Honda Channel. If you're new here, definitely consider subscribing. So today we'll be taking the header and intake off and throwing on the turbo kit. Now this kit, if you're not familiar with this channel, this kit was on the orange car. I ended up taking the entire turbo setup out of there, making that supercharged, put AC in it, and it's a really good daily. So basically everything that you see here, I will leave a link in the description. I like to piece my turbo kits together. They seem to be way more reliable that way than rather than just buying a $500 Amazon or eBay turbo kit. I ended up getting this intercooler and piping with all the couplers off of Amazon for like $159. I'll put a link in the description like I said. I ended up painting the intercooler black, but the piping was already black, wrinkle black when I got it. You will have to buy a blow-off valve because it didn't come with one, but they're like $20 or $30, unless you want to go with the HKS, which I will be throwing the HKS blow-off valve on here. This intercooler kit is basically ready to just bolt right up in there. Even when you get it right out of the box, it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward, no real modifications required. At least for me, I didn't have to. As for the turbo, it's a GT30 twin scroll. I don't recommend twin scroll on a non-twin scroll manifold. That makes the turbo super lazy. I do like how much air this does push out volume-wise, but it's very slow at spooling up. Even with the quick spool on the Honda and everything, still not that quick. It has a 3-inch downpipe and then goes to a 2.5. That bolts right up to any of the cars. Here, I'll show you. You can see right there where there's nothing connected to it. That will bolt right up to it. So there's no cutting or welding required at this point because we've already had that done. Bought the log manifold for $50. Link will be in the description. This is just a cheap eBay wastegate, but it's been working really well. But yeah, we'll eventually be changing the turbo setup. Probably doing a top mount manifold eventually, not right away because, you know, funds are tight. But we're going to go ahead and bolt this kit right up to it. This is just a stock Y8. And if you don't remember from my other videos on that car, we ended up pushing 18 pounds on the completely stock Y7 and it held it really well. We're not going to be doing that on this engine. We will turn it up. It's around 7 to 8 pounds just on wastegate right now. So for now, that'll be fine. We don't have a tunable ECU. It's just the factory one at this point, so we won't be doing any hot rodding on it quite yet, but I will start it up and give you some revs and stuff like that. But we're just getting this put on first, and then we're going to go from there. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to take the intake manifold off. It's not very hard. It's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bolts, and this one's already missing one. And then I'll slide this out of the way so that you can see back there whenever I do the oil feed line, which is basically a cheap T-piece. This part goes into the block, this part will go feed the turbo, and then the oil pressure sensor will go in this spot. But I wasn't able to do it in another video of me turboing, so I'll show you guys in this one, just by removing that. You don't have to remove the intake manifold to do this. It'll just be easier for me to have the camera in there so you guys can see. But I'm going to go ahead and put this on the tripod and we'll get started bolting this thing up. Alright, as you can see, I already drilled the hole and installed the lower bung. This is just a screw-in style. There will be a link in the description for this exact one. So basically we're just going to connect this, and then we'll connect the lower pipe right here that goes to the intercooler and go back up top. Things going pretty smooth. All we have left is the oil feed line, and we should be able to start it up. So I'm going to go ahead and take the intake manifold off and show you everything back there. This is the knock sensor. The Y7s don't have them, the Y8s do. You want to be careful not to break that. They break very easily. But this piece right here, this is the oil pressure sensor. It's just a one wire. They like to break easy as well, so be careful. We're going to take this off. I believe it's a 24 millimeter or something like that. We'll take that sensor off. Then we'll take this oil feed line, which has this T-piece here, and it'll basically screw into the block, and then that sensor will screw in right here. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that off and show you what I'm talking about. Alright, it's all back together. Intake manifold's back on. I put the MAC valve, as you can see right here, in the same location as where it was on the other car. Ran the vacuum line to the bottom, teed it off, up to the wastegate. With the MAC valve not hooked up, it'll still run gate pressure, which is about 7 to 8 pounds. And put the HKS blow-off valve on. Again, thank you Sunformant for giving me this awesome, genuine HKS blow-off valve. It is definitely genuine, guys. I did all the research into it. Got the intercooler piping all on, oil feed line ran, oil return line, and the exhaust connected. So the only thing left to do is start it up and make sure there's no leaks and give it a couple revs. Well, there you have it. It definitely runs. There's no leaks on the ground, so everything's looking good. I ended up cutting the bumper up. It was a last minute thing, but basically just took the Sawzall and trimmed off all the grill part. The intercooler was touching it, so the bumper wouldn't go on, so it's kind of required. I could have made it look like the intercooler wasn't even there by cutting it flush, but I decided just to go all the way with it, make it open like it was on the orange car. Still needs a tune, AEM wideband, Honda S300, a 4-bar map sensor. I did notice that it smokes quite a bit. I think that's just because the rings on this are shot. So this engine probably isn't very healthy, so we'll probably have to swap the Viterra build-in. But I'm thinking about taking the Viterra pistons out and putting in flat top pistons to bump the compression up. Since I'll be on E85 with this setup, we'll be getting 2000cc injectors, and we'll swap the turbo, get a top mount log. So all kinds of things are going to happen with this setup. It'll just be that much better than it was on the orange car. But I'll give you a rev clip of it from the back, because I just put the tripod there. So I'll go do a rev clip for you and let you see how bad it smokes. Also, if you were wondering, guys, the reason it was running like crap, like complete and total crap, besides the lack of tune, someone put auto lights in there. Don't ever put auto lights in a Honda. They need NGK plugs. Even the V-Powers are pretty good, but just never auto lights or Bosch. NGK or Denso. Leave it at that, because they run the best on NGK or Denso. So I'm going to put some NGK in it, and then I'll rev it again and see if that helped. Well, as you can see, definitely smoke still, but putting NGK plugs in solved our revving issue, because it was revving to where it would like pop, 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 and kind of cut out. Now it's not doing that. So that's basically it for this video. I mean, there's not much more we can do as of yet. We still have a lot of work to do ahead of us, but definitely making some progress pretty quickly. So yeah. Definitely stay tuned if you like this kind of content and you're new here. Definitely subscribe, hit the like button, and drop a comment below. Let me know what you guys think of the progress so far. I believe it's been like a week and a half since I got this car. It's already changed pretty tremendously. So I thank you guys for stopping by and watching the video and subscribing and dropping comments. I love interacting with you guys. I do my best. There is a lot of comments between the two channels I have, so just bear with me if I don't get back to you. Just comment again on a new video. I try to keep up as best I can. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Till then, God bless, stay safe, and stay awesome.